Hello guys, my name is Nash. Welcome to Thursday Tales of Terror. TTT. For today's case, we'll be talking about a case from a country that I've never covered before, India. To be honest, there's not a lot of information about today's case because the killer was only a young boy when he committed the crimes. In fact, he's the world's youngest serial killer. Amajit Sada is India's youngest and most infamous child psychopath. By the time he was 8, Amajit Sada had murdered 3 children in the span of 12 months. His victims were children and infants. Amajit Sada was born in the year 1998 from the relatively small farming town of Begusarai in the state of Bihar, India. Amajit Sada's family is very big. Amajit had a lot of siblings and cousins and they were not well off. Amajit's father was not paid very well, and so when Amajit was 6, the whole family decided to move to another place, to another village called Mushaha. He was paid better, but not any better, just a little bit better. And right after they moved, Amajit's mother had another baby, so the parents were really struggling to put food on the table. Also, one thing to know about India is that India is a developing nation. Although its economy is growing, poverty is still a major challenge, and this village, this Mushaha village, is one of them. So a lot of people in the village were working as manual laborers, and I wouldn't say the people in the village were living comfortably, but rather they were doing all they can to survive. There were many families living in the village, and they were big families like Amajit Sada's family. In fact, the Sada family was a significant portion of the village population. And in the village, people just know each other. The kids from the different families would play together outside, and it's like a very close-knit community. Amajit's mother would stay at home to look after the children while his father would go out to work as a manual laborer. And the older kids would usually go out to play together. One day, the people in the village noticed that one girl had gone missing. This happened in the year 2006. She just disappeared, vanished without a trace. She was a 6-year-old girl that was part of the Sada family, and she would usually play outside with the other kids. And one day, she just didn't turn up and have never been seen since. Obviously, the Sada family were aware because she was part of the family. How could you not know if a family member went missing? But nothing much was said or done. The people outside of the Sada family noticed the girl's disappearance, but life still goes on. People were scraping by and busy making a living. They're not going to go up to the Sada family and ask them, "Hey, where's that 6-year-old girl? I haven't seen her around. Is she okay?" Each family has their own problems, and I guess they have enough on their plate and they don't want to pry on someone else's business too much. Also, it's kind of rude to ask. Now, as life continues to go on, a couple of months later, another baby girl disappeared. This baby girl was also part of the Sada family. What's going on? People were pretty much aware that a lady that had just recently given birth was walking around without her baby anymore. Something's not right. But again, nobody in the Sada family said anything. Life seems to go on as usual for them. They didn't even ask around, "Where's my baby daughter?" And they didn't even report this matter to the police. So both the 6-year-old girl and the newborn baby that were part of the Sada family just disappeared without any explanation as to what was going on. But again, no one asked, no one reported to the police. If their own family members don't report this matter to the police, why should people outside of the Sada family report it? So life goes on as usual in the village, but not until one day in 2007, another baby girl disappeared. Only this time round, the baby girl was not related to the Sada family. This baby girl was only 6 months old and her name was Khushbu. Where could Khushbu disappear to? According to the baby's mother, she had dropped Khushbu off at a primary school while she tended to her chores for the day. She was unable to take care of her baby and do the chores at the same time, and I'm guessing that there was no one else in the family that could help her, so she didn't really have much of a choice. Anyone would think that the baby would be safe within the school premises. However, when the mother came back to school to pick up her baby, Khushbu was not there anymore. She was panicking and worrying, and she went to ask around if anyone had seen her baby. None of the staff in school had seen anyone picking the baby, and the baby obviously can't live on her own because she was just 6 months old. Even if she did, she couldn't have gone very far. The mother was frantically running around looking for Khushbu and asking anyone that she came across, and as she was doing so, she bumped into one of the Sardar family members. She told this particular Sardar family member what happened, that she couldn't find her baby daughter, and this person seemed to know or had an inkling as to what was going on. So both Khushbu's mother and this Sardar family member went to make a police report. They called the police and told them what happened. They also told the police who they think might have taken the baby. When the police arrived at the village, they led the police to this particular area of the village where the children always play together. They pointed out to the police their suspect and called him over. The police started questioning him. Initially, Amarjit said he didn't know anything and he didn't seem guilty or scared either. He definitely didn't behave like those kids who had done something bad. He remained pretty calm. The police were also very skeptical because they didn't believe that such a young child would know anything about a missing baby. But people in the village knew. The neighbors of the Sardar family were already suspecting that something was not right with them. And also, the villagers knew that Amarjit didn't have a good reputation when he played with the other kids. The other kids didn't like Amarjit very much because he was very mean to them. He would punch, beat and kick them for no reason at all. But of course, the parents of the kids have bigger problems in life like putting food on the table, so they didn't think that it was a big deal and that it's common for kids to be like that. And then suddenly, Amarjit seemed to understand what the police were asking, and so he admitted that he had taken Khushbu and he knew where she was. The police were surprised by what he said, and they allowed him to bring them to the place where Amarjit said Khushbu was at. Amarjit then took the police and some of the villagers to another part of the village on the outskirts that was more secluded. There wasn't a lot of people. It was a quiet and isolated area. He brought them to a spot, and that spot was where he tried to bury Khushbu's body. He had dug a very shallow grave for her. Excitedly, he told them, "I killed her by beating her from a brick." Everyone was shocked. Villagers did suspect there was something off with the boy, but nobody would have expected him to commit such a heinous crime. Khushbu's mother was extremely devastated. Amarjit then told the police that no one had seen him taking Khushbu and that she was an easy target for him because no one really looked after or monitored the baby in the school. He then carried her out to an open field where no one was around. He started to strangle her first, but he wasn't satisfied with just strangling her. He wanted to see more pain inflicted. So he picked up a stone and started hitting Khushbu on the head with it repeatedly until she died. He quickly covered her from the debris and grass around and left for his house after she was dead. Straight away, the police brought Amarjit into the police station for further questioning, and they were extremely horrified by the boy's behavior and confession. Once in custody, police said that Amarjit smiled a lot but didn't speak much. At his first interrogation with the police, Amarjit didn't seem scared or nervous at all. He was also not remorseful and he had no emotions at all when he described how he had killed Khushbu. At one point, he even asked the police officer if he could have a biscuit. It definitely feels like this boy was unaware of how serious the matter was and that he couldn't see what was wrong with killing the baby. The police wanted to know why he had done so, but he just kept smiling, not saying anything at all. Now, it's not a secret that Amarjit was a very naughty boy that likes to bully the other children. The whole village knew about that, but it turns out that Amarjit's family were keeping an even darker secret about the boy. I'm sure you guys have guessed it by now. The two girls that went missing earlier that vanished without a trace, their disappearance had something to do with Amarjit. The first girl that went missing was actually Amarjit's 6-year-old cousin. It happened in the year 2006, which means Amarjit was only 7 when he committed the crime, and it was revealed that Amarjit had killed her in the same manner as how he had killed Khushbu. He brought his cousin out to a quiet area where nobody was around, and he started to strangle her, and she was struggling to stay alive as she fought back. It was quite perplexing because he could have strangled her all the way, killing her, but he didn't do that. He let go of his hands and let her catch her breath, and then he picked up a stone and hit her head with it until she died. It's very clear that Amarjit loves to inflict pain on others for the fact that he didn't kill them straight away. After the murder of his cousin, the family found out about it. Amarjit didn't hide what he had done. He told them straight up. He told his parents, the girl's father even, and it's clear at this point that Amajit had no sense of right or wrong. The Sada family came to an agreement whereby they would keep this matter a secret. So there's no telling this to the police or anyone outside of the Sada family. Now, I could only think of a few possible reasons why they didn't report him to the police. Firstly, he was still a young boy and they wanted to protect him. They didn't want to ruin his future. Secondly, the family probably didn't want other people to know that there was a murderer in the house. They didn't want their names to be associated with something so awful. And also, they didn't see the need to tell others because it's family matters. He didn't kill someone outside of the family. He killed a family member. So the family wanted this matter to stay within the family. Thirdly, it's a little bit more sensitive, but I think it's possible. The main reason why they were protecting him is because his victims were girls and they wanted to protect the boy. Why do I say this? Even up to today, many Indian families still prefer having a boy rather than a girl. Many of them continue to see boys as an investment and girls a liability. It's true, there are articles, surveys and numbers to prove this. You can go look it up on the internet. And killing of female infants is not uncommon apparently, especially in India and China. So was Amajit doing them a favor? We don't know, but could it be possible? Yes. Lastly, some people speculated that Amajit's father had forced the boy to work from a very early age. Considering that the family was poor, abuse must have taken place that led to the nurturing of Amajit's psychopathic and sadistic tendencies. Some even suggested that the family might be hiding a lot more things from the public. Could they have been abusing the boy so badly that they were willing to cover up for him in order to hide the dark truth about how the Sada family were treating their children behind closed doors? Well, these are all the possible reasons. So it was said that Amajit did get punished by his parents for the murder. I'm not sure how he was punished, but the parents did and they talked to him about it. But a few months later, however, he did the same thing again. This time, it was his own baby sister. I mentioned earlier that Amajit's mother had given birth to a baby girl when they just moved to Mushaha. When it happened, the baby girl was only 8 months old. Amajit said he took his baby sister when she was napping. He picked his baby sister up when his mother was not looking and brought her out to an isolated area. And you can pretty much guess what happened next. It didn't take very long for the Sada family to find out about it and suspect that it was Amajit's doing. Again, to them it was a family matter, so they didn't see the need to report this matter to the police. Not until 2007, when someone outside of the Sada family was involved, Khushbu was innocently taken away by Amajit and brutally killed. Khushbu wasn't in any way related to the Sada family and the mother was genuinely scared and worried. The family in fact got a lot of backlash for not reporting their son earlier, and if they had, Khushbu wouldn't have been a victim. And with this third killing, Amajit is officially the world's youngest serial killer. This case became apparent that Amajit was a child psychopath. Psychopathy itself is a trait where the individual shows a lack of remorse, is detached from emotions, and shows extreme forms of apathy towards human emotions. And soon Amajit's situation was being evaluated by psychoanalyst Shamshad Hussain. After understanding the situation and questioning the boy, he concluded that this was a case of a child that lacked clear remorse and had an extreme liking for inflicting pain on other people, a sadist and a clear case of psychopathy. Was he born to be a killer? Amajit clearly wasn't strongly influenced by anything. The village was poverty-stricken, there's no access to television, internet, magazines, books on serial killers, there's no such things. There's no motive found for his killings, and he didn't get anything out of it either. People, especially psychologists and psychiatrists from all over the world, were interested to study the boy, to study his brain. What's going on inside that head for him to derive pleasure from inflicting pain on others and killing them? Serial killer at the age of 8? That's insane. Now, there were all sorts of diagnoses from different people in the fields of psychology, but they all agreed that it was due to chemicals in his brain that made him behave this way. It seemed that Amajit had a defect in his brain that led to a chemical imbalance which led to increased gratification from inflicting pain on others. He was also officially diagnosed with conduct disorder, a childhood psychiatric condition. This diagnosis is typically assigned to individuals under the age of 18 years. Kids who have conduct disorder seem to enjoy hurting people and doing bad things. They are unkind and often violent, and they don't care about other people's feelings. This behavior goes beyond normal teasing, bullying, or acting out. Extreme bullying, hurting animals, and lying for no reasons are all signs of conduct disorder. In younger kids, conduct disorder starts with pushing, hitting, and biting. In older kids, conduct disorder can come with more extreme violent behavior and crimes like stealing, destroying things, and setting fires. So what's going to happen to Amarjit now that he's caught? In India, as long as you're below 18 years old, you cannot go to prison. And Amarjit was only 8. Because of his age, Amarjit was confined to a children's home for problematic children until he turned 18 years old. Because of the severity of the crimes, Amarjit was being isolated, away from his other inmates for safety reasons. And now it's the year 2022, and since he was born in the year 1998, he would be 24 this year. So he has actually been let out of the children's home for a few years now, but nobody knows where he is. According to some sources, Amarjit had changed his name and living a new life with a new identity. It's not clear whether he will go on to commit more crimes or his child psychopathy was treated, but he's definitely out there walking in the streets of India somewhere. There are some speculations and theories about this case that I would like to share, and just when I'm doing this video, I had a sudden thought. What if the Sada family moved because they wanted to protect Amarjit, not because the father wanted a better paying job? Were there more victims involved before they moved into this village? Could he have already made his move at the old village and the family couldn't hide it anymore, so they moved? That could be highly likely possible. Okay, so the speculation by some netizens on the internet. Some people on the internet speculated that Amarjit was not the original culprit and he was framed for the murders, as the nature of the crime and how elaborate the hiding spots of the bodies were could not have been an act of an 8-year-old child. This theory gains credibility as there have been no cases of psychopathic children who not only killed their victims but went on to great lengths to hide the body and evidence. Despite this plausible conspiracy theory, the fact that Amarjit was very excited to show the bodies and knew of their exact location, showing no remorse or guilt when questioned about the killings, seems to point us to the direction that Amarjit Sada is in fact India's youngest and most infamous serial killer. So let me know what are your thoughts, because I'm pretty sure you have a lot of things going on in your mind. Any theories or opinion you have about the case, about Amarjit Sada, do let me know down in the comment box below. This case is just so sad because it could have been prevented. I honestly get chills whenever I think that Amarjit is already a young adult now and is walking free in India. So we have come to an end for today's case story. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel, give me a like and comment down in the comment box below. This will really help me with my channel. Also, before I end this video, I just wanted to apologize because I'm not feeling very well, so my voice is a little bit hoarse. Yeah, so I just wanted to say sorry if some words are not clear when I speak, because, you know, yeah, so stay safe people, take care of yourself, drink lots of water. I'll see you next Thursday with another video.